Hello and welcome to the Out of the Box Developer today. If you are watching us, please type here hello and where you are from, so we can also chat with you. And if you have any comments, anything that you would like to ask, please don't be shy. We'll be very happy to have your questions with us. And yeah, so hello, Chila. How are you?
Oh, hello, Hugo. Thanks for having me here. I'm fine. And you?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Mhm.
I'm excited to talk about some trends that we have been seeing. I think it's a great idea to start the year uh, having an idea what have been happening around the technology field. We also had a very interesting document here. Let's talk about that in a few minutes. And let me just say hello to Danilo. Hey, Danilo, how are you, man?
Oh, hey Hugo, hey Chila, how are you doing? It's a pleasure to be here. So I couldn't join the last session, but this one is my first session of the year, so it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you
Oh,
for the invite.
that's true, man. Welcome. Welcome and Happy New Year from the Out of the Box.
Yeah, thank you.
Good.
Also, Andres Saints here. Hi, Happy New Year. He's in Lima, Peru. Hey Andres, how are you doing,
Hey,
man?
Andres. Good to have you here. Um, well, today we decided to talk about some trends because, yeah, we are just starting the year, right? And it's for me at least, it's always interesting to keep updated. It's I think first thing maybe when we talk about trends is that it's a lot of things, right? At least for me, it's really difficult to keep updated. It's impossible to be updated with everything, of course, in any field, not just technology, but especially on technology, we have lots of tools, lots of not just tools, but also methodologies and other stuff on our day to day that that make us struggle a lot with this topic, right? Being staying updated. I don't know if you guys, or guys, girls, Sheila too here. You have something. Do you struggle with this, with being updated with technologies? People here that is watching us, do you guys, anyone watching here, do you struggle with being updated? What is the biggest challenge that you have to stay updated with things
Mhm.
on your day to day?
Yes, it's. I think it's very difficult because you have got such a large range of new technologies coming in at high speed. So it's impossible to know everything. So without focusing on some area, it's at least for me, I cannot keep up with all the technologies. So I should. I have to select what I want to focus on and try to go a little bit deeper on it. But I don't know how you feel about it. But without focus, I am lost.
Yeah, I would say the same. And no way after you get the focus on studying something new or something that you are interested, everything not that it starts to become easy, but you when you are focused, it's something that it just things start to happen or you start to see some results from it.
Mhm.
What- and do you have some tips actually by creating keeping some focus is I think it's the most important thing maybe for keeping updated with the right things. Do you use some technology or some methodology or some way to actually uh, make you keep you updated with stuff? I will
Good
give the
question.
questions also to our audience, right? Yeah, but go
Uh,
ahead, Danilo, if you have any.
Sure.
Figure out some.
Well, one of the things that I like to do is about, trying to put it in my routine. So we we need to understand what's the hours that we have in our day. So I try to to at least focus some minutes of my day, maybe 5 minutes, 50 minutes, sometimes an hour to focus on that. Then I have a slot time that on my day that I will focus on that, and then I know that if I do anything else, I will not be focused on that. So I usually try to put it on my agenda and try to see if that's okay. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., I will focus on studying this thing that is my focus today. This is something that I try to do. Of course, that's you need to know how to manage your time. Actually, I'm someone that I really appreciate doing this on my agenda. This is the kind of thing that helps me a lot. But this is the way that I found to keep focus on what matters for me to study when we talk about studying something new or not just something new, but sometimes try to improve your knowledge in some topic.
Yeah, great tip. Trying to keep consistency, right, with the
Yeah,
with some reading stuff
Mhm.
and consuming stuff and and have some time, keep some time for your things that is important for you
yeah.
or for your focus at least. Yeah, that's a great tip. I quickly want to say hello to Emmanuel and also Mateus. Hey, Mateus, how are you, man? Uh, I hope to. If you have any questions, also, if you can contribute here, would be wonderful. Mateus, I have, have been we have been talking here lately with organizing meetup. Probably we're gonna be telling you with coming with new some news about having a in-person meetup here in Brazil, in São Paulo. Probably we are just fixing some details before doing big announcements. But yeah, uh, in soon probably we're gonna have some news. So yeah, Mateus, if you can enjoy the discussion here, you're very always welcome. Yeah, one thing that I would like to add here, at least for me, that works a lot, is actually to create such environments like out of the box developer or some other community, and engage with those people that is related with our focus. So people that like to talk about technologies, if I engage with those people, those groups, much easier to keep updated because you start talking about these technologies and end up start talking about technologies. Oh, I tried this thing and working in my company. Oh, I read about that and it was very interesting. And that's a way I keep updated myself because by reading stuff and hands-on stuff it's only after I have some people that I can use it later. I have some people that commented it or mentioned it and then I start to connect some solutions and oh yeah, that's maybe it's interesting for my company, for my solutions and so on. That's a good way actually to be to stay updated. I always recommend people, well, find your group, find your community, because then you're gonna have a lot of long talks about the things that you are focused on, that you like to talk about, and in the end, yeah, that ends up with a lot of insights, a lot of things that you will keep you updated, at least with what your people, your community are talking about. That's a really good way. And yeah, for today, let me, can I just share the document? Sheila, Danilo, do you want to add something before we start with
Yeah,
discussing
yeah.
things?
One
Yeah,
of
go
the
ahead.
things that I don't know if we should talk about it is how hard it is to find I know a technology to study or
Mm.
something to focus on. We talked about how we get focus and what usually we do when we want to learn something, but we didn't talk about how hard it is to find the right thing to study, or that technology that we try to spike our attention and we just go deep on it. For you and Sila, how do you see this? Do you do anything about it? How do you plan about how do you plan studying something new?
Mhm.
And before answering, I would also like uh, to to drop the question to the audience. If you have some backlog of technologies, if you have some struggle to find new things to learn, please share to us what is the next thing that you would like to be studying and learning about. Yes, share here on the chat. And so, Chila, go ahead. I would like to talk.
So if I want to choose a technology or a direction, then first thing is I have to be interested in it. So I need to have a special interest, something that caught my attention, and something where I want to go deeper in it. So any kind of technology, and that's why if I'm looking at data visualization, for example, it's a huge area, but it's something that it's very interesting. And once you try to go deeper in it, then you you are trying to open your eyes, and then you are seeing even much more things. And then step by step, you can go deeper if you are seeing this in practice, or you get inspired by so many people. And then for me, it's also helping a lot if I try to connect with others, or try to find that community that is belonging to the topic. And in that community, then I find people who have the same interest in technology, or kind of problems they have, and then there can be a discussion. So for me, it's also trying to find those communities or groups where I can exchange ideas. That's for me, it's a very valid point. And
Cool,
then,
yes.
of course, if needed, then trying to build that knowledge, and then you need
Mhm.
to find the right
Yeah.
course, of course.
You mentioned something that I also do that being uh, getting some influence from others. You
Mhm.
mentioned that, oh, I know someone talks about a technology, then you get influenced by that person, then you start to learn that. This is something that I really appreciate. Actually, this is something that I don't know. I like to read, to follow some people in technology, like Bruno, Manny, Otávio Santana. These people that
Mhm.
comes from the Java community. They are there always sharing something new. So this is one of the ways that I really appreciate it also. And
Yeah,
you do you do anything?
yeah. Well, for me, when I always try to connect things that is demanding uh, from the work, from anything that I need to achieve. So technologies that it is needed in the work to assess, to bring some value inside. So that's a strong motivation to keep updated with some with stuff that is that are available on on our technology landscape. And you asked a very good thing. One thing that I have been using, especially when we talk about technologies, since I have to uh, create a lot of content of solutions in the cloud environment. I always use that CNCF cloud landscape. and they did update it recently with some new view that made it easier to. They said it was easier to navigate, but it seems a bit uh, heavier than before. But let me share here in the community in the
Oh,
chat
sure.
so people can see it. Actually, I'm sharing the screen here already.
Yeah.
So I shared the link here. Maybe you are looking for what kind of solutions cloud native that I can use in my application. And of course, this is a large landscape of technologies. You don't have to know everything here. It's a good idea that you know that some stuff exists regarding to application definition, image build, regarding to databases, scheduling orchestration, service proxy,
Yeah.
storages, security, automation. So they CNCF made a very interesting also monitoring and tracing. So they continue to that. There are a lot of other areas, plus things that is grouped, and they made this grouping very easy to access and view. And I like to use it a lot to see. Oh, that's something I need. Uh, some database I need to use and key value in my solution. Let me see what is what have been used here. So when you click in like this TIC-V, I didn't know this solution before, and it's a key value database available, and it is graduated in CNCF. So such kind of things, it's very interesting. You can see the adoption, the popularity of these solutions can be interesting for people that also fall in the same kind of problems that I do. Um, where is my mouse? Okay, I find here. So yeah, that's stuff that I've been using here. I try to always connect with some problem that I have to resolve, and always have something interesting to see when I have when some problem drops in my for me at least.
Oh, that's amazing. Does it looks like I don't know a Netflix for technology, something like this? The tech fix.
Tactics. You're gonna be watching and watching and watching and never ends. Yeah.
Uh,
No, not watching, but using. You have even the percents of usage on each
Oh yeah, yeah,
technology.
it
This
is.
is pretty awesome. Oh, that's
mhm.
cool.
Gustavo here mentioned he needs to study about AI and because I won't be replaced by her. Yeah, that's good thing, Gustavo. Many people worried about being replaced by some artificial intelligence. Of course, some tests will be replaced, but the more I believe, at least that's a good thing to ask here to drop to everyone here, but. A lot of people are worried about being replaced, but more than being replaced by AI, probably will be replaced by someone that knows AI or that knows how to use it to make them more productive. And yeah, that's why I also engaged with some tools especially using generative AI, those large language models, and not doing those models, but actually how to integrate with them, how to use them, what kind of uh, of features or power they enable for us to to do our job better, right? And yeah, it does help a lot today. We can talk more with regard to that when we start with AI AI topic here.
Oh, it is really interesting that Gustavo mentioned about AI, and one of the things that on the I don't know maybe last year people talk a lot about it is it's exactly his question that will I be replaced for training AI? How will be that in the future? I don't
Hmm.
know how about you, but this is something that we need to try to study about how things will go on on the next months or in the next years about it. You know.
Yes, I think we need to use all those Gen AI technologies, trying to integrate those in our work, where we can see potential, where we need to solve a problem, and then for a specific purpose, then we can use it.
Yeah.
So it's more about trying to find place, or trying to find a use case where you can integrate that. And I think you have to learn some of the technologies. So this is what I am trying to do at the moment too,
Yes.
one step after the other. And
Yeah.
then if
Oh,
you know it
this is-
better, then you know, okay, I can use it for this kind of problem, or for that kind of, or integrate in my own application.
Mhm.
We are
Yeah.
progressing.
Yes. You said something very important, I think. That is doing step by step, right? Doing so small steps, step by step. Don't panic with lots of things. As you see, I shared here the landscape of CNCF, what they have assessing and available. And yeah, yeah, it's a lot of things, as you could see in the in their page. So we're gonna be crazy if we would try to do everything, to try to learn everything. So yeah, focus, step by step, and engaging with people that are together with you. I think it's a best guide to drive your focus too. Because yeah, if your community are moving to some direction, maybe it's something interesting to be looking after.
Mhm.
So I think we can start talking about the trends, right? We one thing. Actually, I'm seeing here some message from a hello from Egiel. Hey Egiel, good to see you here. If you have any question regarding to uh, new technologies that you or something that you are challenges that you are having to learn new things, we are today this is the topic today. So if you want to share here and also contribute with the discussion, very welcome. Also thank you Codificador Senior. Uh, Nice overview about the cloud software infrastructure. Yeah, I shared the link if you want to go deeper into that. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And yeah, today to bring this topic actually today, we crossed it with a really interesting document and very well written document from the InfoQ. It is the InfoQ Trends Report 2023. So we can review everything we have been they made until December 2023, and what will be the trends for 2024. And we found it really interesting to take a look and dig into some of topics we find here. Um, oh, thanks for sharing the link. So I hope everyone is. Are you able to see the document? It is big enough. The
Yes,
screen.
it's good.
Okay, good. I think I can. How can I? Uh, no, I don't know if I can. I'm sure it's a way to hide this this view here. I don't know how.
Oh, I don't know how to do also.
Let's keep with that. Yep. So very first thing here, they separated some topic for on this report, and we find very interesting here to they separated in culture and methods, trends, AI, machine learning and data engineering, software architecture design, Java trends, especially for Java developers, and DevOps and cloud trends. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of things here. Let's go with the if the first one is about here, future and methods. So this is the separation they make. It's following the cross the chasm uh, uh, graphic, right? When we have the innovators, the early adopters, early majority, and late majority. And one thing that we see here that we are discussing on the backstage in the late majority, we see a lot of things that at least at least I still see a lot of challenges here. Um, for example, BDD and DDD, there's still a lot of discussion over that. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a long time around our day to day, but especially DDD, I believe it's still so. We are learning so much, and with we are seeing yet a lot of softwares legacy that is refactoring and using DDD, trying to use practice DDD, and new applications that also enter the discussion how we can organize things that it's that is um, that can be well architected and for maintainability, for evolution, and so on. And how about you? You two, Chila, Danilo, do you have any comments regarding to these topics?
Yep. I don't know if your audience knows about this innovation tool, innovation graph that we are using, but when you just take a look at the late majority, it seems like the conservatives, right? So the technology that are on the late majority graph, so think about BDD and DDD, it means that you are on the conservative graph, right? But one of the things that calls my attention on this in this graph is about VR collaboration. Hey, this is really crazy, man. I don't know you, but I have never done any meeting in a VR, so
Uh,
I'm curious about that. I would love to do some meeting on it. Have you ever done anything about it? Do you know how does it work, or have any experience through it?
I would need to experiment with it, to be honest. Yeah.
you can be honest here, Chila. What was the experience? Oh, have you made any some meeting with using VR before?
No, I
Ah,
haven't.
you haven't.
I
Okay,
haven't. That's why
okay.
okay, something to try, and then better why you are doing this or why you are not doing this. So this
Oh,
is
yeah. Well, actually, I tried VR collaboration not professionally. I entered into a. I have this that I bought that Oculus Quest from Meta, and I participated in some online chat using that as not to work, but yeah, it was still things still have to evolve. So I believe that that's why it's here on innovators. Of course, since I use it and now probably they improve it a lot. I don't know how much. And yeah, in my company, I see some people tried it before, but I haven't had any feedback. But yeah, it's still um, yeah, for me it is. I think it's too far to use the this environment. Yeah, I have to wait and see how much it evolves to bring some value that can actually
mhm.
create some real collaboration or real impact on collaboration, right? We still have uh, to understand, but of course VR have a lot of other stuff that is incredible for me. The everything that you, since we are very very a lot oriented on view by viewing stuff. It does impact a lot our experience, right? I tried other games and it works a lot well with me. The experience is really interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. And I don't know if you were watching us and if you had any opportunity to have this kind of experience with VR, send here on the chat. Let's share it with us. I'm really curious about that. I've never even touched anything that relates to it.
But one thing interesting here, I well, I couldn't get into each of these topics, but I just see here that large language models for supporting development. If you had, if anyone had any experience with that, and share with us, would be interesting here. I'm not sure what they say about supporting development with large language models, but fourth, for me, it already changed a lot by having some copilot or something that I can even chat GPT that I can type the question or ask for examples and it does bring me the response at once and with runnable code examples. It's already I feel very productive with that. It's not anymore those search on Google that you have to filter out the the pages that can bring you the answer, the Stack Overflow or stuff. It's direct with some examples. But of course, you still have to read, you still have to validate if the answer is correct. And nowadays, it improved a lot just by adding the feature that can give to you the reference of anything that ChatGPT, for example, gives bring on the response. That's really useful.
Oh, recently I had an amazing experience working with ChatGPT. So I I'm working now in a new team with a new programming language, and just joined it, and I'm already working. I started working in a task force, so there was a war room and all these things, and I had to learn how to program these programming languages from one day to another, and
Wow.
it helped me a lot to do that. So that was amazing. I could see the speed of learning increased. I don't know, maybe exponentially. It
Mhm.
was it was
Which
awesome.
language were you using?
Now I'm using Golang.
Ah, Golang.
Ah,
Oh,
Yeah, Golang. And
cool.
this, I don't know, it's not the topic, but it has its peculiarities on the programming language. It's really cool.
Great, interesting. Gustavo asked about the scaling. Good point, Gustavo. Let's see what is descaling here. Uh, here we are on here to go to descaling.
Oh, I don't know if they mention what's that.
Yeah, I click here to find the mention here, but I don't want to through uh, this topic deeper into the topic, unfortunately. So yeah, Gustavo, I don't know you guys, but I haven't heard it before. I don't know what they mean by descaling.
Yeah. So that's why it's on innovators. Maybe not anyone knows about it. Actually, I never heard it before.
Yeah, that's new for me too.
But see, as far as I know, each of these topics on InfoQ you can find it on their pages. So maybe they have something over there.
Okay,
You
let's move on here. Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Before we move on, Gustavo also did one question about how AI could get our jobs, and there is
Mhm.
one interesting thing here is on these documents on the go one page down on the page 13. Yes, large language models friendly or full for developers. This is a really interesting topic there in blue that might be helpful for Gustavo to read it and get in touch about this topic. I know it's really awesome that it touches this kind of topic.
Yeah, good points, Danilo. So I don't know if you, I think you shared the link, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I shared this here on the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Gustavo, if you would like to discuss more, also you can uh, discuss here with us. But if you want to read, maybe a good start point here is to take a look on this document. It's condensed to be easy to read. So we do recommend it.
Yeah, and I don't know what you and Tila think about. If we go to the AI session, since
Oh
we
yeah.
already got one question about it, maybe we can find something that Gustavo could start to learn about it. And we are going
Or
to
we can
help you
discuss
too.
about it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of topics here, so we can also go to AI things here. So here we are. Yes, things that I've been touching around. Maybe it's the best definition here. Generative AI and large language model. Still innovators. I think it would be moving on early adopters already. But one thing that I see a lot here is that every time they are releasing new models, better models, new ways to actually create things, and with large language models. So I think that's why they kept this topic into the innovators. I see also vector databases. That is a really interesting thing to take a look. Easy implementation, but very useful when we do use with our large language models. As we talked in, as I talked in the recently about some important features we have on working with large language models is about the retrieval augmented generation. It's a
Exactly.
way to actually give more context to your models when you ask some questions, to your large language models when you ask some questions. In the end, is to select before you send the prompt to your model. You can filter and select some context that is connected with your initial prompt, and then you send everything to your model. And you have to filter it because you can't send the whole context at once, all the context to the model, because it will reach their tokens limitations. So that's the reason why you do have to do some pre-processing work before getting the response from the model. So yeah, that's two things I believe really interesting that I have been working on and really fun to be around.
Yes, true,
Um,
for keeping all your embeddings in there. But then you have the next problem that right now you are having a lot of vector database, and which one to choose?
yeah, that's true, and there's not the only way, but yeah, already lots of solutions. Those well-known database already support vectorized and data, so you don't have actually to adopt a new database just for vector database. If you use, for example, Postgre,
Ah, yes,
Postgre already support
you are right.
vectorized data, so you can also use that. And yeah, here I don't have enough experience to say which one is the best for which kind of problem. Most of them, it's probably you have to understand your problem and see what each of the solutions address better. And yeah, I see also Gustavo shared about have heard about it, but didn't put your hands on. Which topic did you put did you heard about that you would like to put your hands on, Gustavo?
I think he, while you were talking about vector database, he sent
Ah,
it.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I can also.
Yeah.
I believe that if you are a Java developer, I had a really nice talk with the people from Jacksonville. We made a Java user group there on Jacksonville. We made a meetup where I could go through some of those very important features or very interesting features we have when starting with large language models, especially using Java. Let me see if I can find the link here. Well, while I try to find here, any comments here, Danilo?
Oh, I would
Or
like to talk some interesting thing that if just going back to the late majority placing in the graph, we can see something that are really interesting. That you have big data technologies like Hadoop and Spark, and also you can see over there that MapReduce is on the late majority. This is really interesting because I don't know about you, but I use it a lot at my work, and I don't see people that think about stopping using it or things like that. But it's there as late majority. That's really interesting.
Mhm. Maybe when a lot of people are starting and using it, and those are technologies that are more stable, that already prove that they can stay, and maybe at the innovator stage you are not yet sure whether it's remaining there or whether it's surviving the technology, and later on if they are in early or late maturity it means that it's a proven technology, so maybe it's worth using it,
Yeah.
or you can set on it.
yeah, I believe so. It doesn't mean that it's not used, but maybe popularity because it's well known already. Maybe
Mhm.
we still have especially now we have to deal with a lot of data more than before, especially to build all those large language models. They will need a lot of data to do that. So maybe it's more regard to popularity or to maturity of those technologies, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, things interesting, like you said, big data, NoSQL database. There
Yeah.
are innovators in a few years ago and already later majority now. We are getting old quicker than before.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I don't know you, but do you remember the boom of NoSQL database? I know maybe 15 years ago. That
It's
was
good to remember
crazy.
that.
Ah, yes. A lot of
It
time
was
ago. Yeah, I remember. I only dealt with one database, Mongo database, a lot of years ago. That was my connection point with NoSQL databases. So document based and making search in the database, things like that.
yeah.
First time I was dealing with that. Yeah.
Uh,
Your first NoSQL database was a MongoDB.
MongoDB. Yeah.
for
Oh,
sure, it was MongoDB.
oh, that's amazing.
George Tavares, he shared with us here. I tried some vector database, but my opinion is that there are few algorithms for nearest vector. I don't believe there is so many difference between databases.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right, George. I don't know if they will present some performance difference, but yeah, I believe that there's not much difference on the implementation. Despite it's very useful for many for this large language model feature, to enable this large language model feature, retrieval augmented generation. I mean, you won't find so big challenges on adopting one. Uh, I used something implemented instead of using vector database. I implement something in memory vector database like thing. So probably very simple to have it for you. Good point. Thanks for sharing, man. I shared the link for the video where I talk quickly regarding to the uh, uh, building building large language model features with Java. I used LangChain4j for that, and yeah, if you are new on the field, you would like to learn something new. I recommend this if you want to explore those large language model things that is so on hype these days.
Yeah. Just sharing that Pedro couldn't join us, but he is watching. So, hey, Pedro,
Hey,
you
Pedro, good
should
to see
you
you.
should be here with us. He mentioned about his first NoSQL database. So he also worked with Mongo. I remember that my first one was Mongo also. So that's great.
Mhm. Probably one of
Yeah,
the first NoSQL databases that came to
yes.
the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this document database, right? And
Right.
everyone, at least in my people around me, everyone wants to, oh, we have to move to NoSQL database. It is much much better. It is faster. It is lots of things, but yeah, always had the trade off. We always have to do
Yeah.
to understand what kind of problem we're gonna deal with. It's probably not alone on this journey, right? Lots of people
Mhm.
probably had to argument and had a hot discussion regarding this topic on the past. Yeah, we are now much major with this topic.
Yeah.
What?
Another point.
Mhm.
Oh, go
Just
ahead,
go ahead.
Sil. Go ahead, Sil.
Now, what I wanted to mention here, what I cannot see on this chart, but I am interested where it is right now, is a small language model, because usually we are talking about large language models
Hmm.
like ChatGPT or something like that, and I realized there are small language models coming too, because you are those large language models, you don't have the infrastructure to have it locally, so you are using it remotely, and there are a lot of questions about security and so on, and that's why there must be use cases where it makes sense to use a small language model that you can run on your own infrastructure. I don't know whether you are having any experience with that.
Not a practical experience, but I have been following this topic too, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's interesting that doesn't. I was trying to search here if there's any mention over that. Can't see anything regarding to that, and yeah, that's real. Lots of people are arguing that it's more interesting or valuable to have sometimes, right, of course, sometimes it's interesting to have some small language models that is specific for something, very
Mm-hmm.
good for specific tasks and specific use cases. And yeah, just because of these resource limitations, right? And I totally agree. Uh, Here we had I don't remember if Pedro, you can also confirm to me, but I don't remember if you and Douglas too. Douglas tried to run it locally, so he put to run on his machine the Llama version of the model, and he has to do some lots of I don't remember of fixes to actually be able to run it on his machine, because it's a lot of resource consuming task, and now we see a lot of other smaller models available to do the same thing, or at least close to the same thing, of course. If smaller, we do expect that has less power, but yeah, that's something interesting. Also to run offline, right? Don't have to be relying on remote connection, online connection. So and these latency issues that you have to interact with these models. That's really good point. Well, mention it here, Chila. I haven't realized it here. We're missing this topic too.
Yes, Pedro commented it. Right now, let's see. 13p parameters don't look small to me. Interact with the other models.
Oh yeah, Pedro also confirmed here that he ran the 7 and 13 billion locally. Very slow. Okay. Yeah, you should in the next session you should share your experience with these. I think many people want to have this experience of running locally.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Danilo.
Yeah, it was curious about how do you run it locally. That's really interesting. I never tried it before, and now I'm curious. So Pedro, you should prepare a presentation about it.
Good. So, what about next thing here? Yeah,
Well, just one thing that I see here that seems to be really interesting is about the AI coding assistants, like GitHub Copilot or even the
oh,
from
that's
the
interesting.
Amazon. So, have you ever used any of them before?
Yes, that's an interesting topic. I've been using for a while GitHub Copilot, and my experience, I haven't adapted very well with GitHub Copilot. Actually, I write the code and it suggests a lot of things, but sometimes it's totally different thing that I was looking after, and I have to hit some button to ignore the suggestion and do my own on my own. So in the end, I preferred less. How can I say? Less uh, this runtime suggestion. I prefer to go to at least change the context, go to ChatGPT, for example, and ask the question what I am exactly looking, and it does work better for me. But probably I'm exception, because I see a lot of people reporting that they are loving the tool and having lots of good yeah, having a lot of good feedback. One tool that I was more satisfied with is the Code Whisperer from the Amazon, but not the Code Whisperer, the coding assistant, but the CLI assistant. That one is really useful for me because I don't have all the commands on my head, and when I do need to type some command, I do. I know I understand the what I want, but I don't remember how to achieve that. And when you describe it, you can this code whisperer CLI try to figure out the command and give me the right command to out complete with the right command. and I just hit enter, and it does execute as I asked for it. So I have also shared it on the video that I shared on the chat. If you would like to look after, I can also try to get the link for this. Only for Macs. If you are a Mac user, you can use it. Otherwise, unfortunately, it's not available. I see that George commented that already watched my talk, my video. Thanks, George. I hope you enjoyed the session. And yeah, so that's my experience with Code Assistant. It's not helpful for you. Yeah. But if you try the CLI, I don't know if you have Mac, but if you have Mac and try CLI, I think for me at least, my use cases, it was very useful.
In you, Chua, did you have any experience?
No, I'm going to collect some experience, but I cannot share my experience right now. But I'm going to experiment with this.
Oh, amazing.
Sure.
Oh, also, George shared here that he used the Code Whisper from Amazon, and as you mentioned, it's not so handful for him. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
So
interesting thing. Go
I
ahead,
don't know,
Daniel. How about
maybe
you?
if you, yeah, I tried once on the on the free tier for a
Mhm.
month. But see, I tried the Copilot, the Tab9, and the Code Whisper. But see, I don't know. I need to come back again because I tried it right on the first release, and I know it had some updates. So in the next months, I'm going to try to install it and see how it goes again.
Mm-hmm.
But
Some
I got the same problems as you, but that he did some recommendations, and then told to myself, "Hey, what's going on? I don't need it." And by the end, it was just slowing down my speed of coding, then helping me. So
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like unasked help that it gives for me. Wait, I'm thinking here. I know I still know what I want. Wait. I will ask you when I'm
Mm-hmm.
I need some help. And it just cuts my
my flow, the
thinking
flow,
flow.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just cut my thinking flow, and I feel a bit frustrated many times.
So also Pedro mentioned here that he was using Copilot, and now he enjoys it a lot. So that's amazing.
uh,
So he even
so
stopped to search things on Google. So come on, I'm still a user from Stack Overflow. I know that we use that.
I I do use it, but I changed the order. I usually go to Stack Overflow, and when I fail to find something, I go to the ChatGPT. Now I use ChatGPT, and when it fails, I go to the Stack Overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting things, right? Yeah.
yeah, that's really interesting. So now we are running from Stack Overflow being the first choice to the second one.
Yes,
This
yes.
this is a huge change for our careers,
For
right?
developer.
Yeah, for developers. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe in some years we are going to ask a junior developer, "Hey, do you know Stack Overflow?" I don't know if they are going to answer yes or not. I hope yes because I really enjoy it. It's an amazing
li-
community.
like the
So
safe bureau, right? There are some people that why the safe bureau is this blue square.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
George here mentioned about intelligence and language server from IDEs do a better job. Yes, I'm with you. I'm the same team as George. I think work it better for me. Those suggestions and static analysis. Um, yeah, I go. Pedro mentioned that he goes to Copilot first now.
Mhm.
I think you don't have choice, right, Peter? Because Copilot just give you, even if you haven't asked for any suggestion.
So you need to get used to the tool and not the other way.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So yeah, we are reaching here 1 hour already. I think we have to keep the discussion regarding to the trends for the next session. Andres share it here. Let's see. I only go to Stack Overflow when Google sends me there. I still don't find relevant answers from ChatGPT. Oh, 3.5. Maybe I'm using it wrong, or my browser too specific. Well, that's a good point, Andres. You pointed here. I am using ChatGPT 4. I've been paying for this access, so I can't compare with 3.5 because I haven't used it so many times as I'm using now with GPT-4. But GPT-4, for me, it's doing very good work to create examples, to find the references, and also join everything into one place. Surprisingly better than when I do find myself on Google. So yeah, I maybe you will have better experience if you upgrade to the GPT-4. I know that Bing already allows you to use GPT-4 on the background. I don't know what is the experience by using Bing compared to using directly OpenAI ChatGPT. I don't know if you, Chila or Daniel, have this
Mhm.
experience.
Haven't used it much, so I cannot really compare it. And I am still on 3.5, but through the API you can use both.
Mhm.
So
And
yeah, that's what I can do. Yeah.
And many times when I search for anything, I always ask for references. Where did it find, on which website it finds the documentation or something like that. Uh, so if something don't feel correct or is not as expected, I always click the link for the reference to check if the information is correct, and after that, I use that not just coding but also some documentation information. It's useful for that too.
Mhm.
But thanks for thanks for sharing your experience, Andres. And yeah, so today we our book reading recommendation maybe will be this report. I don't know if Chila or Danila have anything special that you would like to share today.
I don't, but just to I know that all the majority of our audience comes from Java, and
Oh
this
yeah,
report has the Java section. So if you
that's
are
good.
interested about knowing some trends for Java, I totally recommend it. It's even talking about Jakarta. That's last week we here in Brazil we had one amazing event that had a lot of content in Portuguese about Jakarta and Java 21. So get in touch with that and try to learn something new from it. I think I'm learning Jakarta in the last 3 months, and it's been an amazing experience, and it will keep on my focus for the next months.
George just mentioned about that. Let's see here. What do you don't agree, George? We are here. I'm sharing here now the Java trends. We have Fast JVM startup, Jakarta E10, Java 21, Virtual Thread. We had lots of talks regarding to virtual threads, really interesting from Elder Morai. So if you would like to check on details, I totally recommend his content regarding to that. He does really good work giving examples of virtual threads. Prompt engineering using Spring AI, semantic kernel. Oh, Spring AI is new for me. I would like to check it. Code generation with generative AI. These are the innovators topic. What are I'm curious, George. What is the things that you don't agree with? Pedro also mentioned it here regarding Bing. So probably already had experience with Bing. It's a better choice than GPT 3.5. Consider using it instead. So Andres, that's suggestion from Pedro. So you can take a look, check out for Bing on your for your next search or next questions on GPT. Micronauts 2, both are in the road so many times. Micronaut. Oh, early adopters
Early
here.
adopter, yeah.
Uh, maybe Helidon, Micronaut. Yeah, Quarkus already early majority. So yeah, maybe there's. I don't know, Danilo, if Jiva, you have any updates on those frameworks. But Helidon and Micronaut, I see less adoption than Quarkus these days. I don't know, but this is my connections. Everyone that I ask, lots of people stick with Spring Boot, and the next thing that is very uh, cited, I see a lot of people using it's Quarkus for the. Of course, in the popularity, right? Doesn't mean lots of things, but lots of people that I ask, they are they mention more regarding Quarkus instead of Helidon or Micronaut. I see less people using it.
Probably you are right. It's also dependent on the number of people who are actively using it.
Yeah.
That's why the difference, maybe.
Yeah. One of the things that I like to see on Micronauts is that the community compared with Quarkus, the community from Quarkus, which has grown a lot in the past years. So Micronauts, I see that it's growing, but in a slow
Lower pace.
pace. Yes, in a slower pace. Even being an amazing technology, it's I think that the community the community adoption says is if it's not early adopters or early majority like Quarkus. I think Quarkus on the past years it was in the early adopters and now it's in the early majority. So it's already a stable solution.
But one thing that I see maybe more strange here, it's Java 17 being early adopters. I think Java 17 as I would be moving to early majority. There's a lot of people already using 17 on their even on application that was legacy application. I see they made this movement here, at least on my company. I see this happening. So yeah, I think that is more surprising for me. Even Spring Boot
Yeah, sure.
3, I think it's also something widely used and widely adopted already, and yeah, still in early adopters. Maybe you're right, George, on the on being. Huh?
But maybe how many people are using it? Because if you are comparing Spring Boot version 2, it's late majority, and Spring Boot version 3, it's early adopter.
Yes.
And we were starting with Spring Boot 3 a few months ago, so it can be connected with that.
Yes.
Strange you seeing Java 17 with early adopter
Yeah.
category.
Yeah, but I like to think about how many companies are using Java 17 in production. I don't know, but
Well,
many companies.
Good points.
Maybe this
Well,
is this is not so clear how they define it, but it's something like trying to think about the usability of that, and not only the community, but think about how many companies, who is using that. So this might be one of the metrics that they use to place it over there.
yeah, maybe it's a good thing to take a look on the metric they use it here to get into these Java trends, and then discover what was the why it came out on this result. But yeah, surprising for me at least. Not you're not alone, George. I'm also surprised with some stuff here.
Maybe on the other page it might have some comments about it. Actually, I read some about the Java 17, but I couldn't find anything about Micronauts or the other frameworks.
17 and beyond, yeah. Well, I think that will be discussion for the next session too. But yeah, thanks for noting us, George. Let's maybe we're gonna be talking about that on the next session too. Would be a good idea. So I think we have already passed some minutes here. But I want to thanks a lot people that joined us on the discussion. Thanks George, thanks Andres, Pedro, everyone else that have been Gustavo, I think, that have been contributing here on our discussion. It was interesting to see lots of things and share some experience we have been facing and exchanging with your experience too. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks. Thanks, Danilo, and thanks, Silo, too.
Thank you all.
Thank you. It was an amazing talk. So thank you.
Okay.
See you
And
next time.
so see you everyone on the next session.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
See
bye.
you.